All right, so welcome back to episode 5 of Grown, Tired, and Triggered. I'm your host, Jessica Nicole, and I hope you're ready for this episode of real, raw, and uncut parenting advice, if you want to call it advice. All right, so our objective is everyone that have had children is our goal is not to cause any harm to our children. I hope that's everyone's goal is when they have children. And this episode is just not for current parents. This episode is for people who want to have children, thinking about children, not just for adults, all young adults, teenagers, everybody. If you're having sex and it's unprotected sex, it's a possibility that you are going to produce another human being. Now, if you don't get that, you may need to take a moment and reevaluate your life because that is a possibility. Having sex produces a child. And when you produce a child, a lot of responsibilities comes with raising that child. So this episode is titled Parent with the Other Parent, Married or Not. So if you've ever gotten that positive, I'm pregnant, or you just got it, congratulations. You're ready for a roller coaster. And before we can even get into our topic on our blended family, we got to discuss the foundation when it comes to the original parents, the original father, the original mother, the biologicals choosing to bring this first child into the world. Then we're shifting to our blended family situation. All right, so let's get into it. So my real life example is for myself, I'm a mother. I'm about to get ready to turn 40. My oldest is 20. And I found out I was going to have her December the 3rd, 2004. That was a month and one day before my 19th birthday. I'm going to be real with you. I had a baby by someone I barely knew. So whether you know this person for 2 hours, 10 years, or 20 years, at the end of the day, if you choose to have a child, it's some tough conversations you're going to have. All right? Even before you even became a parent, you've experienced the life of being a child. With your parents having you, you saw how your relationship with your parents worked out, your mom, your dad. Whether it worked out or not, you were a child involved in this situation. And that sort of like forms our ideal and our identity on how we should live life, right? Okay, so let's get back on track. All right, so this is the thing about it, and let's be true and honest. When you have a child, the first thing you're going to let the other person know is, hey, I'm pregnant. It's a possibility that the guy may be the daddy or may not be the daddy. And that's why DNA is so important. So whether you choose to sign that birth certificate or not, if you choose to say, hey, I'm going to be a daddy, I'm going to be a daddy, you and the woman, the mother, are going to start making decisions on how you all want to live your life. It should be that simple, right? It should, but sometimes it's not because we allow our emotions, our heartbreaks, our feelings, our distrust, the loyalty, and those different things get into those emotions in ways when we are having our children. So once you get there and we are like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant, she's pregnant, that conversation is going to come up, right? What are we going to do? So this is the thing. When the girl finds out that she's pregnant, or the woman finds out she's pregnant, she's going to go to that guy who she potentially think is the father, right? And then that conversation is going to hold out to be, well, hey, I'm pregnant. How do you want to go? Now, it may go like this. The guy may say, well, hey, I don't want anything to do with the child, this or that. You should have an abortion or whatever. Or then the girl may not want it to happen. But you know, this day and time and age, abortion is a whole different subject. Abortions are basically against the law or whatever. Now in this day and age. But back in the day, it wasn't. It was other things that can happen. But y'all have that decision on what do you want to do. The girl may decide that, okay, you know what, you don't want to do this child. Okay, I'm good. You can go your way. I go my way. You don't have to ever talk to me. I don't ever have to talk to you. That could be one scenario. But what has to be understood in this particular scenario is when the guy says that and the girl still chooses to have that child, she's making that conscious decision 100% that I'm going to cover everything that comes with having this child. I am going to be 100% responsible for child care, feeding the child, making sure the child is good on the sick days, school, whatever that child's require, you're going to be 100% responsible for that child. And that's absolutely okay. Now, the guy may decide, well, hey, I do want to be a part of the child life, and we're going to be together, whatever. Or I'm still going to be a part of my child life, and we're not going to be together, but I'm going to do my part. So that means that you are both should be saying we're both going to do 50-50 with this child, because the child does need things. Baby need diapers. Both of you all have to work. So then you got to decide, well, when the baby's sick, who gonna take care of the baby when the baby's sick? Are you gonna miss work or I'm gonna miss work? Who gonna pay for daycare? You gonna pay daycare, I'm pay daycare. Are we going half and half on daycare? These different things. The baby gonna need diapers, clothes, food, this and that. How you gonna get it for 1 week? I'm gonna get it for 1 week. How are we gonna do this parenting time with this child? Now, if that does come to be the case, we gotta understand that it's going to be 2 separate households or 1 separate household. However it makes, both individuals going to have to work. That's point blank period. Everybody has to work to take care of these children. Now, at that point, if you're going to be put on child support, okay, that's fine and dandy. If you're going to be put on child support, but whoever the custodial parent is, make sure that with that child that you send them over to the other parent house, is that you send that child with a change of clothes, diapers, things that the child needs. And when the father with the hair already together, because at that point, you are receiving a portion of his income, however may it must be, for your household is taken out of his household. However the court chooses to divvy it up based upon his income. That's just the route that you all are choosing to go. We just got to be real and honest with it. So when you send a child to their significant other, don't be worrying about whether they got a girlfriend or they with this person or that person. As long as that individual isn't causing harm to your child, whoever he's with, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Let that child go. You ain't got to talk to the daddy. Meet the daddy out. You ain't got to meet the daddy. Depending on how old the child is, put the stuff at the door. The daddy can come in, grab the child, or the child can go out to the car. You look out the window. You know the child is with the daddy. It shouldn't be a problem. It should be smooth. I would assume it should be smooth. But that's wishful thinking. Then we have the other episode that come back to the first situation, is that the guy who said he didn't want anything to do with the baby, he choose to come around and say, well, hey, I want something to do with the baby. Now that goes back to a whole nother situation, because now you got to refigure your life, and he's got to be understanding that you coming up to accept responsibility. It's gonna be some things you're gonna need to do, and when you sign that birth certificate, you are gonna be in a binding contract for 18 years together. So what are we going to do for those 18 years together? It ain't what are we going to do. We are in a contract agreement that you are choosing to stay around to be in this relationship with the child, with me. So we're going to have to communicate whether we're together or not. So the objective is to be not to cause harm, and understanding that these children are not free. All right, children are not free. And also to the parents, this is not directly for parents who you are keeping your child away from the other parent because you know they can harm the child based on things that you know, but you got to make sure you're getting that paperwork in order for those different things. So if that's this situation, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the ones who should have a smooth transition with that parenthood. Now, let's shift it a little bit over to the blended family. Now, sometimes, you're going to make it to this blended family due to the fact that what you and the father did not work out, you and the mother did not work out. So now, the other spouse, the other person that went on and met somebody else, and they living their life. Do not fill these children heads up with negative things about the other parent or about the other person's spouse. Allow children to form their own opinion and relationship with the other parent. That's not right, and that is not fair to the child. All right, so let's make sure that we are okay with that one. And then also that you accept the fact that you and the other parent are no longer together. Now, if y'all not together, it's understood. That person don't want to be with you. You may not want to be with them, or you do want to be with them, whatever it may be. But at that point, if that other person had gone on and married on, then done whatever, we just got to let it be. So let's talk about my situation. I thought in my own personal life that I would have a perfect blended family when it came to the relationship with my husband and his children that he have. All his kids are by one woman. I have a child by another man, and we have a child together. So I'm under the impression, and he was too, that it would have been an easily co-parenting and blended family situation where we can all be happy and do what's best for the children overall, for everybody's children in it, so the children can always know their siblings, their grandparents, have that open door relationship. But when us adults, when we bring our emotional baggage into that and causing harm to the children that way because you're no longer with the person, or making these accusations about another person, it makes those co-parenting situations harder. And that's what I thought. And for so long, I had not posted pictures of my family interactions due to the fact of how the relationship is for my husband and his children. And when it goes to my daughter and her father, I don't talk about their relationship. I allowed her to form her own opinion about her father. If he said he was coming to pick her up, hey, I would get her ready so she can go spend time with her father and whoever he was with at that time. I'm not stopping you because you're not with me. You with someone else. We're not together. That was understood. Hey, you go your way, I'm going my way. And that's where it comes to when the relationship is over and we're getting ready for the next season. We're choosing not to cause harm to the child that's in these situations. The child or children is not to cause harm to them in that next phase of our lives. So fathers, I don't care what you may have going on with the mothers, I don't care what you may have going on with the fathers. Whatever hurt y'all had in those relationships, you got to put that to the side for the child's sake. And when that child turn 18, you don't have to talk back to that person again. Actually, you can put them on block. I'm just saying, you can put that person on block. And once you put that person on block, it's okay. You service that contract agreement, and after y'all know y'all not together, you should have healed yourself and moved on, okay? Because the relationship wasn't gonna be. That person probably been with 55, 2, 3, 4 other people after you, or even while he was with you, or she was with you, vice versa, however it may be. But the overall objective is don't cause harm to the child. We are always supposed to be active parents when it comes to our children. And I don't think men should have to, the other parent should have to fight in court to be an active parent in that child's life, as long as they are not causing harm to their child, detrimental harm. And whoever the other person is with should not be with someone that's going to cause harm. And also, when your children are going with the other parent, both parents should make it known that you can come home and tell me anything that's going on. If someone is harming you or mistreating you, so we can address that openly, address those concerns as adults when it comes to our children. So that way, you know that open communication is there. And so when it gets to the point that y'all start going to these blended families, it's not overly complicated. It shouldn't be overly complicated at all at that point, because you and the biological parents are not together. The step parent or the girlfriend or boyfriend, they're not coming in to take the original parent, the biological parent place. They're just there for extra support. It's still their parents is running the show for their child. That's what I would think. What my assumption would be, is that how that should work, that would work, because they're just there for extra help, extra support. If the father say he needs some help or the mother say they need some extra support, then that's what it's for. It's support. It's nobody's in here to take nobody's place. Again, we all here to cause no harm, to be a healthy children, grown adults, to give them life, to breathe positivity in them. So, rules to being parents, blended families, is overall, we want to make sure we are being present parents, because both parents are needed in this situation. Neither parent should use the child as a weapon. That is completely wrong. You just shouldn't do that. We just shouldn't do that. You shouldn't put evil thoughts in the kids' head. You shouldn't be speaking negative of the other parent. It just shouldn't happen. I'm just gonna be real and frank and honest. Blended families, co-parenting really could be so smooth and straightforward as long as we have a plan in place. We all know children are not free. Being an individual is not free. And when you choose to bring in another life into this world, you do have to work with another person in order to get those different lifestyles. For your lifestyle may have been okay. Your lifestyle may be a travel lifestyle. So that's what you got to look into, those different things. What type of lifestyle were you gonna have with your child? And that's something to think about. When you are in these relationships in your blended family, don't be on the outside looking in. That's one of the most important things. When y'all may see things showing up on Facebook, oh, he doing this with her, this and that, this and that. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I was younger, growing up with my oldest child father, he was dating this girl who was in Texas, and she had 2 kids. And I would be on social media, you know, back then, and be out of a little drama or whatever. But my child father, he wouldn't communicate with my daughter or whatever, but she would post pictures of my child's father interacting with her kids, but then my kid not getting that same attention from my own father when he here. And that was one of the reasons that I actually am in Tennessee, is because so my daughter could have that relationship with her father. So on the outside looking in, you could assume that her father was doing all this for this woman's kids or whatever, which was not the truth of it, because he wasn't. Remember, this girl, kids had their own daddy who was providing for them those different things. And he, and those different things. So that's where you got to say, well, okay, let me not look too much into social media, because what you see may not be what it is. Because remember, everybody has to work in this situation. So at that point, you don't know. You can't be based upon, oh, my dad is taking care of this whole woman family and he's not doing this for that. And in reality, the woman got her own job, her own money, doing her own thing, making a life for her own children, and those different things. So we got to stop looking at that social media that different ways and formulating your own things that are not reality, and then you're choosing not to come over because based upon something that you saw, which is not even the reality. So That's something where it comes to being blended families. They are hard. They are hard. Even not even a blended family, even co-parenting with somebody is sometimes hard. But these things shouldn't be hard as long as we learn how to remove our personal emotions out of it and keep it based upon the child. It should be really good. It should be a smooth transaction, a smooth relationship based upon the child, and do what's best, what's for the children. If we get back to the focus of what's for the children, it's gonna be. And then also a thing about it is that when the children are become grown, when they come of age, that they can go build their own relationship of their with their parent. Build that relationship. Your mama may say one thing and your daddy may say another thing, but get to know your parent individually on your own. And don't be caught up in the mindset, well, hey, they married this person. This person may have said something about that, my mama this or my daddy this. And that other person who done married into this family is just got married to all this goddamn chaos and just looking like, this is crazy. I'm going to step back. And I'm going to let y'all have it. You know, holler if you need me. But other than that, I'm not going to get too taken into that. So, that's pretty much is what is on this episode. And more turned into like a rant of episode 5, A Grown, Tired, and Triggered. But that is all I have. I hope this episode is to help you all heal in this new season coming up. This is just a chapter in my life that I do want to talk about, put it out there. Being a parent, being in a blended family. I've seen some beautiful blended families, you guys, beautiful. I've seen some beautiful co-parenting relationships. I've seen some ugly ones. I've seen some ugly blended families. But I'm just so thankful when I think about my life and I think about my parenting situation and my co-parenting situation and my blended family situation when it comes to my oldest daughter. I'm thankful. I am thankful because my daughter was able to experience her family on her father's side. They are the biggest blessing. So she was able to experience that. Whatever differences that me and her father may have had, I didn't allow that to become a part of her life. I made sure that she knew her family, those different things. So when you are a parent, regardless if it work out or not, you have to do what is best for the child. Point blank, period. What's best for the child is what we got to do. So always remember that we are here not to cause any harm to the children we're bringing into this world, regardless whether we are going to be with the parent or not. We don't cause toxic at all. All right? So, thank you for joining me and watching episode 5. If this episode is going to help you or someone you know, make sure you share it, like, subscribe in those comments for me. We have one more episode for season 1 of Grown, Tired, and Triggered. And that'll come out at the end of the last Sunday in December of 2025. So thank you for always taking a moment to listen to my little, aka TED Talks, my little rants. So thank you, and always it's a pleasure. And don't forget, I see you. Keep going. We got this. Good night.